everyone. I know it's been quite a minute, but welcome back to Tales from the Table Studios, where you deserve a seat at the table. We're so excited to be back. We've been on a bit of a hiatus lately, but we're here for Halloween with a wonderful, fantastic game for you. Granted, I am a little bit biased, but it's fine. Before we get anything else going, I do want to take a moment and go through all of the boring stuff so we can just get to the fun. If you enjoy what you see here, there are a lot of ways that you can go about supporting us and helping make sure we can continue doing the cool stuff that we get to do here. Obviously, you can hit the follow button so that you'll be updated anytime that we go live with any new show. We also have a Discord, which is linked down in the About section. We got an amazing community, including all of the fantastic people you'll see here tonight, and all of the wonderful people across all of our shows, and just other fantastic human beings, and at least one multiple squirrels in a coat. It's a thing. It's fine. So come check that out. Say hi. We love to talk about everything. It's a great thriving community. We've got community events that we do. We're working on organizing a movie night for Halloween, so that's going to be really exciting. We'll have updates about that soon. Fingers crossed. You can also support us over on Ko-Fi, because we have one of those. If you want to go check out our Ko-Fi, you should be able to put !Ko-Fi into the chat, and it will pop up for you. If you want to join our Ko-Fi, we also have some cool free stuff, so you don't have to worry about the memberships if you don't want to do the membership stuff. But we post updates on all our shows. We also have some free maps. There's a really cool module for kids on bikes that we have up there called One Night at Ollie's. I don't know if you've heard of it, but if not, it's pretty neat. You should check it out. We also have a YouTube. You can go check out our YouTube, where we archive all of our shows and host some YouTube exclusive content, including Roll for Perspective, which is a show where I sit down with fantastic people within the community to talk about everything from game design to APs to running games for pay and everything else. We just like to sit down and nerd out about all of the cool TTRPG related stuff, and sometimes TTRPG adjacent stuff. You know, all the fun things. I don't think there's anything else I have to go over right now, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to pass things around so all of these fantastic people who are here with me tonight can tell you who they are, what they're getting up to, where you can find them, and all that stuff. You know, the fun stuff. So I'm going to go in the order. I have people on my screen, so I'm going to throw it to you, Zach.
Hey, everybody. My name is Zach Walsh. I run a podcast called Schedule for Lunch, and I do stream on Twitch from time to time. I'm also on a couple of other actual plays with Veil the Void, and I'll be here, and I'll be playing One Night at Ollie's. I'll be playing Gabriel Young, I believe it was, oh my gosh, I forgot to put down his thing. A young provider.
Out there.
16 years old.
And moving on my screen, Wraith. Hi.
Hi, hello. That's me. I was also pulling up my sheet because I was like, oh God, I restarted everything, and that's the one thing I didn't pull up. But I at least know I'm playing Rosemary, age 16, trope conspiracy theorist, which is super, super fun and gave me an excuse to put on eyeliner like I used to do in high school, which caused a little bit of psychic damage to me, but it's okay. We're getting through it together.
That's what we're here for, right? Together. We got this. Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I use he, him pronouns. I'm That Gamer Ajax on basically all the socials, mostly focused on Threads and Blue Sky these days. I make YouTube content that just is there to kind of help educate and get people into tabletop games, whether they're big or small. Lately, I've been working on covering Pathfinder. I've got some Lancer content coming up. Just want to help you be the best tabletop enthusiast that you can be. However, tonight I will be playing Theodore McGuire, aka Ted, aged 14, and he is our slacker.
So before we get started, one other thing I do want to go over is a friendly warning. One Night at Ollie's is at its core a horror game. So if at any point you find yourself feeling uncomfortable or unsettled with anything that we go through, please don't hesitate to step away, go do something else, come back later, or just decide that this isn't for you. We've got a bunch of other great shows that we run and more that are in the pipeline right now that might be more your speed. We'll never be upset if you need to or want to step away. Always prioritize your health and well-being over anything we're doing here. Similarly, myself and my amazing players have already gone over all of the safety tools that we will be using before we get on here, and we will be mindful of that as well. So, safety first, very important. With that, let's get to tonight's game. Welcome to Layton, 1998. A city in upstate New York that has always managed to keep that small town feel, despite its exponential growth. Growth due in no small part to the economic boom that followed the opening of what was meant to be the first of 5 instances of Ollie's Adventureland in the late 70s. A product of Doer's Family Entertainment, Ollie's Adventureland was a sprawling theme park that brought to life the characters of the hit TV show Ollie Pals, which followed Ollie Owl and his 3 semi-dysfunctional puppet friends as they taught each other, and sometimes learned from guest stars, about traditional topics often covered by children's shows. By most accounts, the show did a good job with this, often utilizing the exaggerated personalities of the cast to find the right balance of earnest, emotional education and ridiculous hijinks. In 1990, Doers made their second major investment in the flagship park, replacing the now worn and outdated mascot suits with state-of-the-art animatronics for each of the cast, and in doing so, turned Ollie's from a park based on a once popular show into a tourist hotspot. Nowhere else could you see these beloved characters from your television in person, interacting with you and your children as though they too lived and breathed. The next 4 years were seemingly non-stop success, both for Doer's Family Entertainment and the city of Layton. People flocked from all across the country and even the world to experience this cutting-edge advancement. Yes, there was the occasional story of injury from a faulty ride or glitched animatronic, but those stories were few and far between and couldn't slow down the momentum that the park had been steadily building. Rumors of a revival of the original series, plans for the next of the planned parks, and even a Saturday morning cartoon were in the works, and this made it all the more surprising when the park abruptly announced that they would be closing their gates permanently. Followed soon after by Doers filing for bankruptcy and ceasing all operation, leaving plenty of questions and no focus on how to find answers. In the 4 years since, Doer's Family Entertainment as a company exists only in the mouths of those who speculate on the reason behind their rapid collapse. The park has been surrounded by 20-foot-high wooden fence and, much like the city of Layton, fallen into disrepair without the company to provide promised support, which makes the occasional story of flashing lights and the sounds of rides emanating from behind those wooden boards all the more strange. As we bring our camera down on the streets of Layton, the focus is not on the boarded-up mom-and-pop shops or the failed restaurants that relied on the constant influx of tourists, but instead on the more cozy suburbs, yards sporting scarecrows, skeletons, and cobwebs. Tonight is Halloween in Layton, a night for costumes, far too much candy, and maybe, for our dear children, answers. Gabriel, your experiences at the park have always sort of been there, tumbling around in your head. Questions of why and what, vivid memories of those oversized icy blue eyes watching you like prey. But in the last few months, it's been so much worse. Every night, without fail, it's the same dream. You can feel those cold drops of artificial snow as they patter against your cheeks, almost lost, overwhelmed by the sensation of pressure at your back, ushering you forward with almost gleeful chiding. A knot in your gut as you stumble forward, marched towards those seemingly inescapable lines. It's almost physically painful to tear your eyes away from hers, but you must, as you see the large clawed hand reach out and grasp at you, encircling your hand completely and beginning to lead you back into her labyrinth. But that is when you sleep, and sleep is still at least a few hours away. As our camera brings you into focus, what is it we find you doing this Halloween evening?
What time is it at this point?
It's about 5:30.
So you see Gabriel. He is currently wearing just a very plain black t-shirt, some baggy cargo pants. He's got a sweater slung over the back of the dining room chair. It's yellow laminate sitting on the ground, aged with time. He is setting a variety of, it looks like softer things. It's mashed potatoes and a chicken that he's kind of cutting into smaller bits. He's setting them onto, it looks like a walking tray. He kind of sets it down and it pans up to his face. You see he's got frosted tips, kind of spiked back. He washes his hands and picks up the tray, and he makes his way up the stairs and gets to a door where he knocks. Dad? Coming in. He, for a second, he thinks about pausing and then opens the door and just steps in. His father had a bit of an episode. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he hasn't exactly been as mobile as he used to be. So right now he's resting. Mom's coming home in about an hour, but Gabriel thrives on routine. So Dad eats before 6, and that's how it is. Sets the tray on his lap and helps him sit up. How you feeling today?
There's a moment of silence as he looks at you. You can see that he's struggling a bit to get words out.
Take your time.
A good day is as good as it can be.
I love the optimism. He kind of sets they're almost like a slightly oversized utensil. You get the impression that they probably have not a lot of money, but enough that they can get some things that are a little bit more accessible for his father. Kind of keep that independence, and he kind of slides it and takes kind of like the middle part and like dangles it so that his dad can grab it without having to fumble over the tray and possibly knocking into his food.
And it, again, takes a moment as he sort of raises his hand, and he has to take his time to line up before his fingers can really close around it. And he tries to give you a soft smile, which only really half finds its way to his lips. He lets out a soft laugh, and it turns into a bit of a coughing fit. And he stops. Oh, please.
Gabriel starts to laugh and pats his back and hands him a napkin. There is many.
And again, it takes him a moment to grasp that as well, and he takes it and very shakily sort of brings it to his mouth and dabs at his lips. What are you getting up to tonight, kid?
Well, once Mom gets home, I think I might go out for a bit. I won't get up into any trouble, but see what some of the other kids are up to. Go out for a night walk.
Don't let any of them tell you that you're too old to go trick-or-treating. Candy's for everyone, right?
I'll bring you something back.
I'm gonna hold you to that. He slowly, shakily sort of scoops up a bit of the mash. And there's a bit of a struggle and a fight. But he does manage to get at least most of it in his mouth. There's a tiredness in his eyes. It's nothing new to you. You've seen this for a long time now. and then growing frustration. But he tries. He tries his best to play that off, to offer what reassurances he can.
I think Gabriel deep down knows that they're both kind of playing the act. He looks at his dad and he knows that dad knows, and dad knows that he's playing up that it's not a big deal, but it's really affecting them.
Beyond that, a lot of the time sitting there is spent in silence as he focuses on trying to create the least amount of discomfort for you that he can. And I think slowly our camera sort of pulls back. Rosemary, for you, Ollie's was a driving force, a source of motivation to find answers where seemingly none exist. Many would avoid that fear, ignore the questions, and do their best to move forward, finding new sources of inspiration and burying the questionable nature of what they've experienced. But not you. You've tried so many times to go back, to find a way in, to search for meaning and knowledge where none dare to tread. For a time, that was all that plagued you, the deep gnawing need to understand. But in the last few weeks, it's been hard to remind yourself that it's just that. Flashes of movement in corners, familiar silhouettes and colors that seem to exist just at the edge of your vision. Distortion in the mirror that harkens back to the countless hours spent in the neon funhouse that never hold up to scrutiny. Gone as soon as your eyes focus or you glance back. Skips and distortions in music and other ambient noise around you always dredge up a confusing mixture of anxiety and curiosity, the two at odds with each other and yet spurring one another on, as though the answers will bring you a much-needed peace. It's only gotten worse in the last few days. Sounds of heavy footsteps behind you that seemingly belong to no one. That same feeling of not being alone that settled over you in your youth as you ran, confident that to stop would have meant doom. You spent so much of your time since the event trying to find anything you can about the park. Does having those half answers hurt or help? Will that answer really bring you peace or fuel the next set of nightmares? It's a big question, but one that doesn't have to be answered right now. For now, as our camera settles on you, where do we find you tonight? What are you doing? And why?
Rosemary is sitting in the middle of her floor. She's got a lighter in one hand. She's holding the tip of her eyeliner over it to kind of melt it a little bit. She is applying some really, really heavy eyeliner all the way around her eyes. She's gotten really good at not using the mirror for this because she's been getting a little antsy when looking at mirrors. So she's been doing her best to not actually need them as much as she can. As far as she knows, it's going pretty well. And no one's told her otherwise. So that's fine. Her bag is next to her, and when she's done with those, she throws them into her bag. She's got some clothes, some other stuff in there, and she also has wrapped in a scarf her dad's wire cutters because she's got a good feeling that with the holiday, with everybody kind of being out and about, maybe this time she won't get caught. Just maybe. But she does have a mask on like hanging on the side of her backpack just in case, because maybe if she gets caught, they won't recognize her and she can still try again tonight.
And I think every time has to be more frustrating than the last. So close. There's always someone there. You know, it's unfortunate. We live in a city like Layton. There's way more cops than there need to be, although that's true in most cases. And they don't have very much to do anymore. So those empty parking lots, whew, they're perfect. It's almost like they're waiting for you. The streets are busy. Parents with their kids trying to get out early, not wanting to keep them up too late. We'll see if that works. Any costume for you tonight?
Not besides the mask, and it's just like a cheaply, like hastily put together, like cardboard mask of like a generic devil. It's just cardboard and some ribbon, something that she can throw on and not care too much if she loses in a chase.
I like that. I think as the camera watches you, prepping, ready, determination, pulls back once again. Theodore. Even before the nightmares set in again, part of your time at Ollie's has always stuck with you. Dizziness, nausea, uncertainty. They all plague you when you find yourself too far off the ground, reminding you of what it was like to be trapped in that cage, hoisted above the park, rocking ever so slightly in the breeze. No notion of when aid might come. Like with everything else, you've done your best to brush it off. Play at a pace that comes with avoiding effort and responsibility to varying degrees of success. But lately, it's been different. The dreams have come back, that uncertain swaying, the unsteady view of the park grounds around you. You do your best to remember that they won't just leave you up there. They'd never do that. But even as the thoughts fight back against the terror swelling in you, the cage is jarred, swinging wildly as you feel a heavy weight settle above. Soft cooing that perhaps was meant to soothe felt far too sharp, demanding, raising louder and louder, accompanied by heavy thudding steps, flashes of purple feathers, and then large red eyes framed by black spectacles peering down at you through the bars. The yellow beak beneath them opens to speak, but from within, you hear only the grinding sound of gears and machinery, and somehow within it, a mocking laughter. Wings that take the place of hands slip between the bars of the violently swinging perch, the ends wrapping around a lever and pulling at it. Another sound of grinding metal screeches out, but as it completes its journey, the cage door swings open, and your vision is filled with the oversized owl. Larger than you could ever hope to be, he settles inside, steel talons threatening to pierce the floor beneath you both, the only thing keeping you from plummeting back to the stone floor. One step, then another, then a third, and then darkness and the grinding sound. Not the same as the metal that we hear now as our camera settles on you, though. And as it does, What do we see? What are you doing?
I have that youthful energy of a person that is still trying to decide if they're too old for trick or treating or not, but deciding, you know what, to hell with it. I'm going for it, and I'm digging through a closet, probably up in an attic space somewhere, and you would see me kind of like only my legs were out. I'm like in a box throwing masks left and right, trying to find the perfect one, and I find it. That perfect thing that is both ironic and nostalgic, and I pop out with a Betty Beaver mask. I remember getting this thing when I was a kid, and it just takes me back to some memories. I'm like, yeah, that's the one. And then I turn and shout, "Hey, Becca, you coming?"
What?
It's Halloween. Are you coming?
Coming where?
What? To get the candy, duh.
Ted, you know I don't have time for that.
Okay. It's Halloween.
And?
What? We used to go all the time. Remember Mrs. Smith's place? She had the full-size bars.
I know. But I can't. There's too much. There's no time. Besides, I don't have a costume. Wouldn't that just be super lame?
And I just I pop on the mask and like run down the hall and like poke my head like into her door. Well, I mean, this is all I got, and outside of that, it's just like baggy t-shirt, baggy, just like terrible flannel, and like faded jeans, and it's just like, look, see, we're doing it. Look, we're not kids anymore, but it's ironic. We're having fun. Come on, you remember when you used to be fun?
And you see, she kind of tries to stifle a smile. Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go out and get a head start? And as soon as I'm done here and get all my studying out of the way, I'll come meet you.
Well, I mean, by the time all the good stuff's gonna be gone.
Well, then you'll just have to get double.
But I'm doing all the work. Why do you get my hard work then? Just saying.
30% finder's fee?
I guess.
I'll even let you have first pick. How about that?
Okay. Fine. We'll count that as fair.
Okay.
All right. See you later, Becca.
Have fun. Be safe.
Just gonna stroll out and start getting ready for just a little alone time before trick or treating really starts.
Yeah. There's plenty of places, and I'm sure you would know better than most the best places to go to sort of have time to yourself.
Yeah, I need some. I'm a little upset, and I need a little bit of time to just listen to my tapes. Call it good.
What are we listening to now?
I think tonight is a Metallica night.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Hitting the streets. It's, starting to get kind of busy again. All of the parents getting the younger kids out of the way as early as they can, preparing for the inevitable fight when it's time to go home. Because there's always more candy to be had. Or there would be, depending on how efficient you are at candy gathering. And as you cross the street, only a block away from your home, you can't help but catch it out of the corner of your eye. A flash of light. Just for a moment. The purple and orange and green that you recognize very, very quickly as coming from the park. It happens every so often, or at least those are the stories that people tell. briefly.
I'm gonna take the headphones off, and it's one of those, like, the audio quality is terrible on these things. Like, it very clearly, like, a kind of a bootleg cassette, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna just kind of look at it, and then I'm gonna like, no, no. Okay, that ain't right. And I'm gonna go and get my backpack, and I'm gonna grab just a couple of quick things, and then I'm gonna sling it over my shoulder, and I'm gonna start heading towards the park.
Okay. So, Rosemary, you've made your way out, I assume. Are you beelining it towards the park? Is that your only goal tonight?
I wouldn't say beelining, especially because, like, she's been caught enough times that I'm sure she at least is on a first name basis with one or two of the regular guards around there. So she doesn't want to be seen like bolting towards there. So she probably like take some time, meanders, gets some candy as like a an alibi of sorts. But she is edging closer and closer to where she wants to see if she can weasel out of sight and get in there.
Okay. Yeah, like you would expect. You've gotten good enough by this point to notice when they've parked a little bit of ways and they're waiting for someone, usually you. But you see it too. That flicker of light just for a moment from beyond the wooden panels that make up the fencing. After all, they're only 20 feet high, and there are rides in there that are well beyond that. I don't know if it surprises you, though, does it?
Not surprising,
Maybe a challenge.
just intriguing.
Beckoning you forward, calling out to you almost as if by name. Gabriel. Do you have anywhere in particular you're looking to go tonight on your walk?
I walk out down after Mom's get home. I run over the list of things she needs to do. Kind of yawn and rub my eyes. Another sleepless night gone by, and head to the garage. I grab my backpack and I'm heading to go see Lonnie. I don't know why, but I am so tired and I just want to go to bed.
So you step out onto the street, and I imagine there's maybe a bit of mournfulness seeing all of these children in costumes going by. These moments that you don't really get anymore. It sits, lingers. But you're pulled away from that as well, seeing that flicker of light calling out to you. Lonnie may be beckoning to you.
I think the mournfulness isn't, if you had asked him a year, maybe two ago, there would be that, but it's just acceptance now. This is how things work. But tonight he has some free time, and that is a rare treat. And he's not known for getting in trouble. He usually keeps his head down. and he's very good at not being noticed. So he makes his way and heads towards the light.
It's an easy enough trip. You don't live too far away. A lot of these residential suburb places are built with the hopes of being close. Many of them were initially intended for employees, and some of them even were for employees of the park, but well, they don't really need employees anymore now, do they?
Yeah, I think in his heyday, Dad might have had some relation to the park. Gabriel isn't too sure exactly how, but maybe a designer or some sort of consultant. He knows that Dad was at the park a lot.
He doesn't really talk about it too much.
No.
And it's on your walk, not too far out, only a block or so away, when you see a dark silhouette moving, at least in the direction of the wooden boards that cover this place. Careful steps, I would imagine. And then, as if cutting through the silence, a siren. Rosemary, at the sound of the siren, what do you do?
I bolt.
Just take off in the other direction?
I don't want to get caught. I haven't even gotten close to trying to get in yet.
I love that so much. Okay. So you turn and take off, not really paying attention to your surroundings so much as you are trying to get away before they end your night early. And I think you run directly into Gabriel. Gabriel, you have a moment before this dark silhouette comes bursting at you from out of the shadows at the sounds of the siren.
I grab Rosemary's hand. Do I recognize that this is Rosemary? Do I?
Are you wearing your mask yet?
I'm wearing my mask, but I'm also not doing a whole lot to disguise myself otherwise.
So yeah, I think that would be a fair assumption then.
Gabriel will grab onto Rosemary and be like, "What did you do?" and start running with her in the opposite direction.
Didn't do anything yet.
Hey, that's perfect then. Let's act this out. We're going to act like we got caught if they catch us.
What? What?
They don't know what? Well, do they know you? They don't know me.
They know me. They know me real well.
Okay, drop the mask. Let's fake our way through this.
And just about as you say that, the siren passes you. The car driving down the street and beyond.
Immediately stops and lets go. Like,
False alarm. Okay. Hell yeah.
the hell are you doing here?
I'm getting in. What are you doing here?
Well, thought I'd just bounce on over here. Like, have a night. I don't know. See the sights.
The sides of the fence?
No. How many times have you scoped this place out?
Wait, are you trying to break in?
Yeah, there's a couple loose boards on the opposite side. I checked a couple days ago.
You're trying to break in.
I got some free time.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, since you've scoped the place out, lead the way.
He starts walking in the complete opposite direction they were running and starts to move to the far side opposite of the parking lot.
Ted, you there's this one spot, maybe not your favorite, depending on how you feel about the park on any given day, but not too far off. This little alcove covered by half-fallen trees and the remains of what maybe had been a shed at some point. And in the back of it is this rowboat that's just kind of been jammed in there. It's a good place for a bit of quiet and peace. It's also a good place to be near the park. Maybe not your favorite, but considering how the park has been calling to you tonight, if not more than that, I think you find yourself just sort of almost absent-mindedly walking there. The lights drawing you in. The light, when it flickered. And as you walk up the street beside it, you notice two figures moving in a similar direction, with at least some semblance of focus there on maybe the fence, maybe heading to the same place, though you've never seen anyone else go there. What would you like to do?
When I see that they're going in the same direction that I am, first things first, I'm going to put my mask on. And I mean, I'm a short kid. I mean, I'm probably only like maybe 5 foot even, if that. And I'm going to kind of like keep some distance between the two of us just to make sure that maybe they'll veer off from a different direction. Maybe I can't actually like have the place to myself. But just like maintain a distance and just kind of see what's going on, because I thought I was the only one that knew about the spot.
As the two of you continue to make your way towards this spot that you had noticed not too long ago, you see small bits of the wood at the bottom of this fencing that have been sort of chipped away. Whether they've been broken off or have just rotted, you're not sure. But as you move, every so often, you both feel like you catch shadows of movement from beneath them. Just quick flashes. Never there when you go to look.
I think it's night security. I know that it's closed, but I wouldn't be surprised if the cops hired some people to patrol it tonight.
I mean, normally they're like outside, though. I don't know if I've ever seen any on the inside.
How many times have you gotten inside?
I've gotten close enough to look.
Fair enough. I just think old abandoned amusement park, Halloween. You know.
I mean, I hope there's no one on the inside.
Yeah, same.
It would be easier if it was just, once we get into the fence, totally fine.
There's one that's a little bit more jacked just past the old storage shed.
It's a short walk. And what I'd like is Rosemary and Gabriel, if the two of you can make me a brains check.
Oh no. Correct me if I'm wrong. They explode in this one, right?
Correct. If you roll the highest number, you get to roll the same die again, and then add the two numbers together.
Fantastic. That's a 12.
Ooh.
Press roll of the night.
Let's go.
Happens when the dice isn't that big.
I also rolled a 12, but that's not that exciting because my brains is on a 20.
Oh,
Still exciting.
It's more than half.
Yeah, you got it. So, as the two of you are walking, occasionally glancing down to see if those shadows are still following, you both notice out of the corner of your eye movement from across the street, not too far back behind you. It catches your attention specifically because there doesn't seem to be anyone else here, or wasn't, besides the two of you and whoever may be inside. What would you like to do?
Hey, behind us, you see that?
Do you think anyone else is trying to get in here?
Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. We've got what? We can't be the only ones, right? It's fucking Leighton.
I mean, yeah, but I don't really normally run into people when I'm doing this. But besides the cops.
Yeah,
It's usually like a solo mission.
I don't know. It's a night to find trouble, right?
I mean, most people are thinking it's a night to get free candy and like TP houses and
Nothing wrong with free candy.
I got a little bit myself.
Speaking of which, I need to grab something later.
Should have thought of your alibi beforehand.
I got ideas. They're not great, but they're ideas. If they're really following us, though, we should probably find a way to either lose them or jump them.
Or, I mean, if they're trying to get into the park too, I mean, I guess is it really that bad if someone else is in the park? Because then if they get caught,
Fall guy.
Yeah. Then the cops leave and they don't look for more people.
Gotcha. We have a bug out person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gabriel turns around. Kind of like at a half yell, just, hey. Trying to get in?
When you do that half yell, there's like a noticeable like it's like kind of muffled behind the mask. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I saw something weird.
Okay, get over here.
Kind of jog over and how dark is it at this point? Just out of curiosity.
It's still relatively like light out. The sun has begun to set. It's
More shadows.
yeah.
Okay.
I'd say
Okay.
sort of overcast more than like dark yet.
Theo, those frosted tips stick out.
And like as soon as I get over there and like I get excited when I see that it's Rosemary, and then my eyes turn to you, Gabriel, and it's just like you.
What's good, Theo?
It's Ted.
Ted, sorry. My mistake. I wrote it wrong.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the first thing that he got wrong. So wait, you guys are trying to get in the park too?
Yeah, of course.
But did you guys see something weird too?
Big light?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
light.
Okay, that place is abandoned, right? And also, I thought that the place was haunted.
What?
Yeah. Did you hear the place haunt? Yeah, apparently, like some dude got like kids sick, and some of them may have died and stuff like that, and now their ghosts like haunt the place.
Right. Yeah, okay.
That's why I closed down.
one theory.
Yeah, that's one thing I've heard about the place. You nervous, Ted?
No, I'm not. It's kind of like stiff it up. No, of course I'm not nervous. In fact, I'm going before you. Was.
Harsh. It's like almost playful about this, like this anger.
Wait, if you think it's haunted, why do you want to go in?
Well, like I know what the light is,
Fair enough.
right? Why are you trying to get in?
Not sure yet.
I want to know what is going on there.
Yeah, see,
Light or no, something's weird.
Look, I know a couple of like classmates like Chad and Caleb. Like they said that you try to get in like all the time, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. They think you're really cool, by the way. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, like, look, do you guys have any like stuff to get in or anything like that?
He pulls out a nail puller from his backpack. Yeah.
She pulls out the wire clippers.
I'm gonna pull out a rusty old hammer.
Is it a claw hammer? Like something
Yeah.
like okay.
Yeah.
I was just like I was hoping it was just like a mallet.
You know, no, actually, that's funnier. Yeah, we're gonna go with that instead.
Oh fuck, we should have brought a crowbar. That would have been so much better.
It would have been way harder to get here unnoticed, though.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I
You have a
didn't bring
crowbar
one.
just lying around? What is wrong with you?
Yeah. My folks make things like you can use it to pry wood. That's like crowbar's number one thing to do is to pry things.
Well, if you ask my parents, that just leads to a life of sin.
Crowbar?
Well, it just they say that hoodlums take them to like break into cars and stuff.
Gonna
I
jack
mean,
you up,
that's
boy.
one use.
Look, I'm just saying what my parents said. Okay, like I mean, if you guys think that crowbars are cool, then I guess they're cool.
So, just about this point, when you all hear a shuffling sound and a crunching of what you imagine to be dried dead leaves from inside, and then a second, and then a third, and then after a moment, from underneath one of these cracked boards, a rat scurries out, running directly between the group of you and out into the street before disappearing off.
Just a rat.
I am going to scream and jump about as high as I can.
As
I-
soon as he does that,
It's like we're talking high pitched scream.
Yeah. Gabriel is going to just like throw his hand over his mouth and pull him in. It's like, it's okay, it's just a rat. Also, don't blow us. Don't blow our cover. You're good.
Just gonna like tap your shoulder.
Oh yeah, let's go.
God. I had it.
So did every cop in the area.
Yeah, let's get in before they come investigating that.
Okay, fine. Just don't like rats.
That's fair. They're gross. And he starts like reaching
Cute.
underneath. Aesthetically, they're fine, but they carry disease.
So do we.
Yeah, but yeah. He starts feeling around the bottom of the fence where the looser boards are supposed to be.
And you manage to get to it very quickly. Doesn't seem to be any other movement or any other friends for Ted to get excited over. And as you get there, you notice something interesting. 3 of the boards seem to have already been pried loose. Not just pried loose, but the remains of these boards lay cracked and broken on the ground, scattered.
Do they look like they've been like snapped or like pried off?
Why don't you roll me your brains and we'll find out?
That's a 4.
They look like there has been some kind of impact to them. You can't really tell if that's from them being tossed away after. There do still seem to be the nails that were connecting them to the base, like frame, intact on pieces of this wooden shrapnel. But it's hard to tell if they were specifically pried off or how they came away from where they are. It certainly doesn't seem like rot, though.
All right.
Can I roll to see if I get the feeling that it happened from inside or outside?
Yeah, roll me your brains. Absolutely, you can.
That is a 16.
Ooh. So you can tell by looking that it does look like they were broken off from the inside. Something must have hit these things relatively hard. The nails don't seem withdrawn at all, so you're pretty confident they haven't been pried off. And the way that the wood shrapnel kind of scatters across the ground leads you to be pretty confident that these things have been broken off from the inside.
Oh gosh, it looks like freaking like Macho Man made his way through here.
You're telling me.
I don't think that's from someone breaking in.
What do you mean?
She kind of like gets close and points out the nails. Like, this looks like something broke out.
What, like a big rat?
That's about as good as I could think
I
of
don't
too.
think rats get this big.
Maybe somebody got in through another way and this was their exit. They knew about the loose boards.
Or it's because the place is haunted.
And the ghosts wanted to break out through the fence.
Why not?
Why not just go through the fence? They're ghosts.
I mean, it's not as impressive as if you just phase through a wall.
That's
Yeah.
way scarier.
Not if no one's around to see it.
Yeah, like I thought I was the only one that knew about this spot.
No, this is like not common knowledge, but it's not uncommon knowledge either. It's like
No.
I mean, word gets around.
Dang it.
You're like the little like hut thing back there. Not a lot of people go that, but like the boards, at least. There's rumors that the boards are messed up somewhere. So if you go wandering,
Oh, I mean, I think we can squeeze through that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna try.
I'm just gonna like kind of perk up a little bit. Well, you know what to say, ladies first.
She's gonna scooch her way through the hole.
Sure. Stepping through the hole, you have to take a moment to make sure you don't snag on any of the jagged pieces of wood that do still remain intact. But stepping in, you immediately are met with that very familiar, noticeable sound of crunching dead, dry leaves beneath your feet. Twigs sort of snapping. Beyond that, the cracked, unpolished cobblestone that makes up the space just off of the pathways that were much more carefully crafted to lead guests through the park. Surrounding you are what look like familiar little huts and small houses. It's pretty obvious just from a glance that you are in the Owlry. The tower stands not too far off from where you are, and near that, the oversized Ferris wheel. What you notice as you straighten up, making sure you haven't ripped anything, there's a single light inside the main tower on the second floor that seems to be flickering through the window. That classic yellowish light just kind of flickers and then it goes out.
would that clear the wall line? Like in the tower, is it high enough to clear the fence?
Yeah.
That be our beacon?
I mean, I don't know if it looks the same as the light from earlier, but we might as well go check it out.
Yeah, I'm in. Ted?
Uh, this place has already given me the creeps. Yeah, let's go.
So as you make your way towards the tower, you notice that even as you reach the pathway that makes up the large main street of the Owlry, that time has taken its toll here. What was once a pristine, carefully kept path now resembles the more rough, cracked stone surrounding it. Not a surprise, considering it's been 4 very long years. But Ted, you can't shake the feeling of being watched. As you look up and around, you remember all of these owls that decorated this particular part of the park, perched up on roofs and windowsills and on specifically designed perches that jut out from the tower itself. There was a time where most, if not all of these, were mechanical. Their heads moved and turned. But now, most are in at least some form of decay. Bits of fluff fallen off or ripped away by stray animals. Wiring and metal exposed. Eyes missing. There's no way they could be watching you now. There's no way they could still be functional. But every time you turn to look at one, or when you purposely avoid doing so, you feel it. You see it. They just so happen to be pointed in your direction.
Gonna tighten my grip on my backpack and get a little bit closer to Gabriel and Rosemary. And did you guys like go here when you were younger?
Yeah.
Oh, God, this part of the park like always gave me the creeps. Like my dad loved the owls, like a little too much, you know. Like he just like sitting there, just like watching them for a while, and just like I always felt like someone was like watching me, and like it feels like that now, right?
Gabriel kind of turns and looks at the owls. And he's like, I don't know. It's probably something like this at like Disney, right? Where it's all jacked up and stuff. Like, looks, there's like a lot of them, right?
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I mean, I would say that like it's impossible for the owls to be looking at you, but they might be. And I just say that because there's power still here.
You're so helpful, Gabriel. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Just as you say that, there is cutting through the silence beyond your conversation, the sudden flapping of wings as an owl goes flying past and off into the distance.
Oh, maybe that's what you saw.
Is that feeling gone?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, that's all it was. Just not having a good time with the rodents tonight, you know?
Well, owls are birds. And I don't know. This is
Okay, what is your deal, man? Like you gotta call me out on everything.
I feel like you're freaking out.
No, I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out.
You're almost there. You're almost bugging out a little bit.
Oh, I bet you're gonna bug out first.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know what? You know, it's because I know how to take life easy, okay? Like I don't have to work too hard, okay? Like you work way too hard. You know that, right?
Bites on the inside of his cheek.
I think between and trust me, I've seen this between the two of us. You're gonna bug out first.
It takes a second. He breathes in because that cut a cord. I don't know. Maybe you're right, Ted. Let's wait and see.
So as you continue,
Tell you what. If I bug out first, I freak out. You give me 5 candy, my choice. If you bug out first. If you bug out first, we'll do that. And if not, I will get you. He like kind of pops open his wallet and he looks. He's like, I will get you a new cassette, your choice.
You know, I know that Limp Bizkit just dropped a new one.
Okay, if you like Limp Bizkit, we can get you Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
I can make some. I mean, like, hey, Deftones got some stuff coming out too. Megadeth's good, but if you want Limp Bizkit, we can get Limp Bizkit.
you got a deal, and I'm gonna hold a hand out.
Shakes it.
So as the group of you continue walking, you find yourselves going past this large banner, wooden banner, or what's left of it. You're all familiar with it. Once, it said, "Welcome to Adventure Avenue." Large, bold letters that had been nailed onto the wooden board. But now, 50% of those letters are gone. Some of them you can see pieces scattered along the ground ahead of you. some missing in their entirety. Beyond that are all sorts of vendor stands, food stands, the remnants of a shop, the primary shop where you would get the plushies and the commemorative mugs and the pins, windows shattered, glass scattered across the grounds. Beyond that, the tower, looming, dwarfed only by that Ferris wheel. The cages.
Nelson, are any of the plushies still around?
You are welcome to go look.
I'll walk over that direction and just take a peek in.
Sure. So, as you get closer, you realize it's pretty impossible to avoid the glass, and it crunches beneath your feet as you get close. Inside, most of what remains is empty. Shelves that have collapsed with time and age. But there in the back, you see a Martin Moose plush. Dirty, covered in dust, but standing there, hands on his hips, head turned up, that little bit of fire felt coming out of the bottom of his jetpack.
Hello, Mr. Martin. He starts walking his way up in there.
Does anyone follow?
I'll follow.
I'm gonna keep a lookout.
You need a souvenir, Ted. Nobody will believe you.
All right, I'm going in.
Peer pressure.
Oh, absolutely. No, because I have to prove that I'm not gonna wig out first.
This is true. Stepping inside, it's dark, and there's that smell of mildew and mold that sort of assaults your senses. There are bits of torn fabric and scrap and fluff strewn about. You see off in one of the corners what looks like a bunch of it sort of packed in to what you can recognize as maybe a nest for squirrels or some other rats or some other small creature. And as you get about 5 feet away from this Martin Moose plush, you notice a screen on the wall hanging just a bit at a crooked angle. The screen itself is cracked. And after a moment, you hear the sound of static, and it flickers to life. And as it does, you see, through the cracked screen, the distorted figure of Ollie Owl. You can see the beak moving. Clearly, he is speaking. But what you hear is and it just seems to loop.
Is it one of those ones that's like real high up and I just can't like tap the power switch off?
It's close enough for you to reach, but it doesn't look like it has a power switch. Yeah. Or if it does, it's probably underneath the casing. Because you would not be the first kid who... Yeah, you would not be the first kid who wanted to hit the power button on one of those things.
We go over, it's unplugged.
Do you want to check the plug, Ted?
Oh, absolutely.
It's probably the wiring, right, though? So it's like in the wall or something?
So you go over, and it's easy enough to find the wire that is in that small gap between where the back of the screen ends and the wall begins. And what you see is it does in fact go into the wall. So you can't see if it's plugged in, but what you do see is deep black scorch marks that sort of encircle the hole that the wire goes into. And as you get closer and close enough to see this, you hear louder, and then after a moment, there's a spark from the wire, and the screen goes out in the classic old tube TV fashion.
Well, that wasn't pleasant.
Yeah. I'm gonna look back at Rosemary. Hey, you've been wanting to get into this place, right? Like, do you know anything about like people getting in here or like what's going on?
As far as I know, no one's managed to make it in, but I don't know. I don't trust it being shut down. I didn't trust it before it got shut down. I wouldn't be surprised if there were still people here that didn't have to break in.
Better it's a squatter's den.
No, I just think like, you know, it's convenient to close a place down if you don't want anyone to figure out what's going on there, you know?
I just want to just see if I can take like maybe a look at the scorch marks because I'm sure that I've probably worked with like trying to get game systems like attached and stuff like that. Maybe I might have like a semblance of an idea of like what may have caused that.
Here, 1 second. He pulls out from his backpack a mag light and just like shines it on there.
Wire cutters, but that'll just like stop it.
I think it stopped already. Or most.
No, I just there's like scorch marks like where it's like going into the wall. I just want to get an idea of kind of what this is.
Also, I would like to check in real quick. Rosemary, you have a D20 in brains?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this to you free of charge. So if there is any chance whatsoever that that TV is still plugged in, wire cutters are a terrible idea. Just absolutely terrible idea.
It was a 16-year-old impulse idea.
Valid.
Listen, sometimes
that was the
your
intrusive
thoughts are
thought.
just like you have the fork and the socket's right there.
That's so true. We here at Tales from the Table Studios do not.
We don't condone
sticking
playing-
forks in sockets.
No.
Don't play with electricity, folks. It's not a good idea.
No.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to see if it like maybe it was like a faulty wire or like just or somebody tried to torch it or something like that. I just want to see if I can maybe get a sense of like what might have caused those.
Sure, absolutely. You can roll me a brains. Also, I want to quickly clear up something that I had forgotten earlier. Zach, you gained an adversity token for failing the roll with the wooden boards outside.
Gotcha. That's good because my adversity token stuff are awesome.
Okay, that is a 4.
You will also gain an adversity token.
Woo!
I don't know, maybe someone set a fire here. You can't really, you don't see anything. There's not a lot of room to work with, and there's not much exposed, so it's really difficult to make out anything specific.
Okay.
Just grabs the Martin Moose plushie. He's like, grab your thing and let's get out of this one. I don't want us to get.
When you grab the Martin Moose plushie and go to pick it up, as your hand closes around it, you hear a ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Is it like super gross now that I'm actually holding it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It is caked in dust and something that was... You know how sometimes when something used to be sticky, there's that very specific texture that it takes on after it stops being sticky? I forget what that's called. But
just immediately drops it and starts like wiping his hands on his pants.
And as you drop it, it hits the floor and goes...
Maybe a cup instead.
Oh god.
Wash it.
I don't think it's washing. That's the here, and he like kicks it over, and he's like, "Touch that."
And when you
Just gonna
kick
take
it,
out the.
this time it just goes.
I've got like spare clothes and stuff in my bag. I'm just going.
It's sticky as hell. We can just get a mug.
We can wash it or shave it. Maybe it'll be interesting shaved.
Rosemary. Why would I want a marked moose that's shaved?
One of a kind.
I don't know. Have you ever seen a shaved moose?
I don't want to see a shaved moose.
Why?
Have you ever seen a moose? It's huge.
Yeah, and it's a lot safer to shave this toy than it is to shave a real moose.
That toy doesn't look like a real moose. I'm getting a cup. Grab something that's clearly just been painted with lead that he won't be able to keep in 5 years when that all comes out through the FDA.
Yeah.
Keep it. You just can't drink from it.
Yeah.
Look, you can, but it's not recommended.
Fair. Yeah. No one's gonna stop you.
You physically
Yep.
can drink from. It's like those Garfield mugs that had to go.
Oh god.
Oh,
If there's just like any little thing that I can grab, I'll just grab it and shove it in my backpack.
yeah. You can grab like they have the little like
Keychains.
commemorative like pins or buttons. You can grab. There's a whole set actually that you'll see on the ground somewhere in one of those little old like plastic things with a little button flap.
I forgot about those. So
And it's
cool.
just the set of the 4 of them. It's covered, it's like caked in grime, but beyond that, it seems fine. And there is absolutely a beautiful lead cup for you, Gabriel. There is one that seems to still be intact. It is Ollie, and his eyes are wide and his beak is open like he's shocked. And the handle is one of his wings just sort of bent at, quite honestly, a really uncomfortable angle.
Somebody will
Exactly. Yep.
appreciate this.
I'm so disturbed by the thought of this mug, if I'm gonna be honest.
I've seen mugs like this before, and you're always like, "This is gonna suck to drink from because it's got a lip." It's definitely one of those mugs.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. This is not made with the intention of being actually put to use.
All right, my my detour is complete. Rosemary, you taking the gross moose?
I'm just gonna wrap him up in like a piece of clothing I had in my bag, and it'll be fine. I don't have to touch him until I get home.
That's fair.
As the group of you sort of settle on your keepsakes, you hear something off in the distance. A very light thud. And then a second thud. And then it stops. And for a moment, you notice for the first time exactly how quiet it really is here. There's no crickets chirping. There's no stray frog noises. There's no rustling anywhere. You can't hear the random debris that seem to scatter with the breeze. Everything is perfectly silent. Disturbingly so. Especially in a place like this, where you've all been before, and the last time that any of you were in this place, quiet is the last word that could be used to describe the environment. Lights and sounds and screams and shouting with glee and, of course, the occasional crying child But here you are. What would you like to do now?
I kill the light first.
Sure. The light goes out, and you realize in this moment that it is considerably darker than you felt like it had been when you got here. It's only been a couple of minutes, but whether it's because clouds have rollen in or the sun has finally set in earnest, it's dark.
Should we hide?
Yeah.
Rosemary, where should we hide?
Thump! Again, this time closer.
Is there like a employee room in here?
A staff room.
Yeah.
Looking around, you do see a door off, actually not too far from where you are, considering you've gone quite deep into this building. Behind the counter. The counter, of course, like everything else, caked in grime and a thick layer of dust. There are smudges across it that could be, well, anything. But beyond it, there is a door. On it is a small nameplate. But whatever was written there is gone now. Lost to time. Thump! Again. Closer.
I'm gonna try to sneak over to the door and see if it's locked or unlocked or.
Absolutely. Are you going to sort of climb or hop over the, like, divider?
Yeah.
Sure. It is not a particularly good feeling having to touch this thing. The residue kind of cakes itself on your fingers almost immediately. But it's easy enough to sort of propel yourself over this thing. It wasn't really meant to keep anyone your age out. Moving quietly over to the door, you grasp the handle, which is oddly cold. One of those classic rounded silver metal doorknobs. You give it a bit of a twist, and at first, you feel a bit of resistance, but almost immediately, you hear a metallic popping sound, and it turns the rest of the way. And then you hear it again.
Come on.
Thump!
Come on.
And I'm like hurrying over.
I scoot over to. Is there like one of those like lift things just to like pop it up so I don't have to jump over? I feel like I'm a bit bigger than these two, so even though I could, I feel like I'd make a lot more noise.
Not that you see. It doesn't seem like there is any way to immediately move from that area to the open space.
All right, he jumps over.
And as you jump over, a little bit of the dust sort of gets kicked up. Not enough to blind you or anything, but there's an irritation. You feel dust tickling the inside of your nostrils. And you land. There's a little bit of a crunching sound. And as you get over to Rosemary, you hear another one of those thumping noises. But this time, it is followed by the faintest whirring sound. And then another thud. And then another thud. And you can tell just by listening that this thing is, whatever it is, only a few steps away now.
Are there any like lockers or anything like that back here?
So pushing the door open, you find a long sort of hallway with what you have to imagine were once white walls, now gray. Painted on them are just truly awful murals of the Ollie and Pals characters. smiling in a field. Beyond that, it opens into a room that does in fact have a number of full-sized lockers, the front of which are a mesh metal, giving you view inside.
So, sorry, just for my clarification.
Yeah.
So, not a good hiding spot. Like
Not
you can see.
particularly.
Okay, good. Okay, just want to make sure that I. Okay.
However, beside them is a large, double-doored cabinet, and past that is another door. This one, however, seems cracked and broken, barely hanging on the hinges. And then, from behind you, you hear the crunching of glass. And then
Cabinet, go! Get the cabinet! I'm like sprinting ahead, even though I'm shorter than the others. Hey, I'm small but fast, all right?
And just at a glance, it'll be a real tight fit. But if you wanted to, you could all fit in there.
Yep.
Do I see, as we're moving in this direction, do I see an exit sign?
You do not. Just that other door.
Okay.
After that next crunch of metal, you hear something else echoing through the room behind you and into the hall. Hello? Are you there?
Is this a voice we all recognize?
This is the voice you all recognize. This is the voice of the titular Ollie the Owl.
Cabinet, now!
Hello? Crunch. What would you all like to do? Do you want to pile into this cabinet? Do you want to try the door? Do you want to go give Ollie a hug?
No, absolutely not. No. Regardless of what the other two do, I'm going in that cabinet. I'm looking at it for
Probably,
myself
like,
right now.
Shoving Gabe like closer to the cabinet, like, come on.
Okay, fine, I'm going.
The three of you do manage to sort of pile in, and you can pull the doors closed behind you. Now it is a very tight fit. You're kind of twister interlinked in this. And for a moment, again, there is quiet. And then thud, thud, thud. And the next time you hear the voice, it sounds like it's only feet away. Don't be scared. It's been so long. And then you hear a mechanical whirring noise that sounds almost like a deflated sigh. And then you hear the thudding steps as it comes closer. And through the barest sliver between the two closed doors of this cabinet, you see purple blotting out the light.
Pulls Ted closer into his chest. Just like, because I imagine Ted's kind of squeezed between the two of us.
Yeah. I'm not even daring to breathe at this point.
Yeah.
What I'd like is, I would like each of you to roll me a flight.
Flight, not a grit.
You know what? No, you're correct, actually. Yeah, let's make that a grit. It's a good call. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I have 2 adversity tokens. Could I spend both of those to use my unassuming trait?
Ooh, remind me what that does.
What it does is it makes it so that way.
But we're down a Rosemary.
Yep. I can spend 2 adversity tokens to not be seen within reason.
Absolutely, I will allow you to do that. And more than that, I will allow you to spend those so that no one has to roll for this, and everyone can go unseen. So, our wonderful Ted has spent 2 of his adversity tokens to use his unassuming trait to make sure that he cannot be seen. And in doing so, I'm going to allow that to work for all of you. So nobody has to roll. There's a moment, again, of that quiet, and then another one of those whirring sighs. And then thud, 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 as the footsteps get further and further away. And then you hear the crunching of glass again. And then it's quiet. Perhaps not calm, but silent.
Just gonna like slowly turn my head in Rosemary's direction. What the heck was that?
Just gonna pull him in a little closer and just be like, quiet, just a little longer. Just make sure it's away.
Why was it moving?
Well, the power's still here. They probably can charge themselves. They're animatronic.
Yeah, but that sounded like it was looking for people.
I feel like they were told to go and find guests, entertain them, right? So it's probably looking for us because it wants to. He quotes, it wants to play.
That's disturbing.
It's very disturbing, you're right.
Why would they do that? Who made these things?
Were you here after? Like, when was the last time you were here? Was it with the animatronics or with the mascots?
I think it was the mascots.
Oh,
It wasn't long before it closed.
Oh, you've seen these things then?
Oh God! I put that one in the vault. Chose not to remember it.
It's, you know what? They're really lifelike. It's kind of jarring. To
Yeah.
remember their machines, especially like they're smart.
See, I watch too many too many movies about robots taking over the world. I don't like this.
How'd you feel about Terminator 2?
It was a cinematic masterpiece, but it scared me a lot.
Yeah, same. Liquid Terminators.
Yeah.
Yeah. the joys of waiting for tech issues to resolve.
Yeah, go off.
I think Rosemary's in shock, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's from excitement or fear or a mix of both.
Well, if I'm speaking for me, it's the fear.
Yeah, but this is her I told you so moment. Look at the focus.
So we're gonna wait a little bit, and then we're gonna run away, right?
We are going to run quietly away.
Okay.
Because that thing hurt us. Maybe it hurt, maybe it was close, maybe it was just waiting, but we stepped on some glass and it came from who knows how far. Also, I thought I lived up in the tower.
Yeah. That place can go to hell.
You don't like the tower?
You feel me just shaking my head.
Oh, you know what? I guess it's a little weird, right? It's like a museum. Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I had a real bad time when I was 8.
Okay, no, that's fair. I don't like the labyrinth, the Winter Wonderland. Not my favorite.
So very quickly, I'm just going to throw out 2 adversity tokens for each of you for wonderfully handling this time of tech issues. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yay,
much.
I get my points back.
Wonderful.
And now we can do it again!
Listen, I was lost in liminal space. I was in the room, but nobody else was.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
You didn't hear us talk about the Terminator.
We just figured that you were in shock either. Probably like your I told you so
Processing.
moment.
Oh, wait. Rosemary's coming too. Oh, it's Rosemary.
But okay, so I think we're in agreement that we're gonna run away quietly, right?
I mean,
You want to stay?
Oh, did you mean leave?
Yes.
I thought you meant leave here.
Leave the park.
no.
No.
What? No.
After all we had to do to get in here.
We snuck through a hole in the fence. It wasn't hard.
Rosemary's
Yeah,
traveling.
but like, they're gonna find that eventually. They're gonna patch it up.
Okay, yeah. I know it's fine. It's fine.
We just gotta listen for, like it's not like that thing's quiet.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I think we're gonna have to be a little bit more careful if it's looking for us.
Did it like hear us?
My guess would be that it was hearing us. It's like a robot, right? So sensors, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's like, oh, there's 3 guests over here. Go see them.
Hate that.
Yeah. Whoever thought that was a good idea?
Okay, so
I have mixed feelings about that, actually. But we can talk about that when we're not in a cupboard.
okay, let's
Get out of the
go
cupboard.
the opposite direction of that guy.
Very gently, Gabriel's going to start pushing the thing and just single eye, just scanning the room.
Sure. There is a little bit of that like metal whine as it opens.
Yeah.
And you kind of peer out. And the room seems empty.
Gently, he's going to make his way towards the other set of doors. We didn't hear the other set of doors open, right?
No.
Okay.
You're talking about the like messed up doors.
The other doors that you said were in the room.
Yeah. So, yeah, going over to those, they look pretty beat up. They're barely holding on their hinges. So it shouldn't be a problem to open them. It might be... You might have to be a bit careful about how you open them.
Does it look like time worn or like something's been hitting this thing?
Looks like time worn.
Okay. Somebody want to give me a hand lifting these doors? I think they're going to come right off.
I mean, yeah, I got it.
So I would
Three,
like... Oh, go ahead. I'm
two.
sorry.
Oh, you just counted off.
And what I would like is for the 2 of you to roll me a brawn.
Oh, baby. Oh, how many times does it explode? Just once?
Just, you know what? Nah, keep going. Keep going.
How strong is this teenager?
Give me a second. I'm doing math.
He just picks it up and chucks it, and it just keeps going.
32.
Oh my god.
Why are you
Unless-
afraid of the animatronic? You could punch this thing into outer space.
Yeah.
My fight's bad. My brawn's good. Theoretically, I should be great at fighting.
Ted?
I don't know if I want to say now. I got a 5.
Moral support.
That's more than I can normally get.
So, Ted, gain an adversity token. But also, as the two of you begin sort of lifting and moving these doors out of the way, Gabriel, you have no issue with yours. You get it up. It immediately sort of like pops off the hinges, and you can like lay it to the side with no problem. And you can do so quickly enough because this thing is like paper to you that when you look over and you see Ted starting to sort of like sway to the side with his door, it takes you no time at all to get there and sort of reach out and help stabilize that one as well.
Dad dropped a couple doors on himself when he first started everything, so this is an old reflex.
Interesting reflex.
Yeah, home renovations were tricky for a little bit.
Beyond the doors, you see the open air of the park. And ahead of you, almost parallel, is the sprawling tower. As you step out into the open air, you see movement from the corner of your eye. Looking back the way you've come, you see the faint silhouette of what looks like a large owl walking off in the direction of the gap in the fence, stuttering as it moves, shifting as though its steps are uncertain, jarred and jerking.
Kind of sad when you see it like that. He used to be so cool. Like, really reactive, but now he's... And
Looking for
Gabriel can't
us.
finish. Gabriel can't finish the thought.
What, was he your favorite or something?
No, he's just reminds me of some stuff. Come on.
So you step back out onto the cobbled path. Ahead of you, the tower, and beyond that, the Ferris wheel. A number of dilapidated, broken down food stands. Beyond that, the rest of the sprawling open park. To your left, about 30 feet away, is a building shaped like an egg. Someplace I don't think either of you have ever been in, or any of you have ever been inside of, but will recognize fairly quickly as the hatchery, where the youngest children were taken to play, or in some cases, dropped off for a couple of hours. But beyond that, the park is yours. Well, mostly yours. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I guess we're going to the tower.
I mean, we can't go back to the hole right now. He's over there, so
Okay. Just as long as we don't have to look out window, I'll be fine.
So heading over across this broken, cobbled path, you find yourselves standing before this tower, which, to its credit, Must have been built pretty sturdy because it seems to be in relatively good shape compared to everything else. The windows intact, the stonework, for the most part, still in one piece. The door leading in is one of those old-style wooden doors with the metal bars that run across it, and a large, almost two-handed doorknob. Now, when the park was open, this door was never closed. You all know that inside here lies, for lack of a better term, a tour through the history of Ollie and Pals and, to a lesser extent, Ollie's Adventureland. What do you do?
As we're
You're-
approaching, do we still see that light going off?
You don't. It doesn't seem to be anymore. No.
Hey, Rosemary, just out of curiosity, do you know what could have like made that light? I mean, that was pretty freaking bright, right?
I mean, it could have been anything. I mean, like we saw that old TV that was still working. It's like it could be a TV, could be like a floodlight. I mean,
Could have been Ollie.
really, whatever. Like,
Wait, you said it could have been Ollie?
I don't know. Do his lights glow?
I don't
I
think.
usually stare at his eyes.
I don't think it was that bright.
And do you think he like lured us in here or something?
I don't know. He was going to where we came in through the fence. I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Well, I mean, it did seem like that hole was kicked out.
Right. Right, you are correct. Yeah, let's at least move inside so we're not.
Yeah.
He gestures to the open park plaza.
Almost as if to put a period on the end of your statement. You faintly hear the thudding sound again of metal against cobbled stone, echoing in the open air around you.
In.
Let's go. Let's go in.
Go.
Is there a door on this?
Yeah.
Close the door.
Absolutely. You push it open and it whines a little bit as it opens. Dust again is kicked up. You can see dirt caked on the floor being pushed, sort of, the slight area as the door grinds against the floor, pulling away that top layer of filth. You get inside and you can close the door easily enough. It whines again as you do.
But just as you're closing, I'm gonna like reach into my backpack and I'm gonna pull out this like little like metal, like black metal flashlight that just has like one of those like kind of like really wide bulbs, but doesn't give off like the most light.
Do you turn it on?
Yeah.
So the door closes, you turn and you turn on the light, and immediately in front of you is this grotesque, what you have to imagine at one point looked human, but now has melted down into this almost amorphous, waxy blob that leans forward. Bits of the face are still sort of recognizable through the broken off, drooped bits of wax. What was once the indent for the eye has sort of dragged itself downwards, and what's left of the body of it, the arms and legs, have sort of almost, it looks like, congealed and rehardened. Unfortunately left unattended through a number of hot summers here in Layton.
Gross.
I'm gonna like jump and drop the light.
Gabriel goes in for the straight punch. Like,
Roll me a brawn. Let's see. Go for it. Roll me a brawn. Yeah.
You gotta get another 32 on that one.
I feel like that's like
Sends that wax figure right to the moon.
that's a 6.
You throw your hand out and you jab at this thing, and there's this like thudding sound as your fist meets what is wet but still semi-hardened wax.
You just hear
Um,
he like pulls his hand away from it.
There's bits of wax now that has caked itself onto your knuckles, and immediately as you pull away and leave this new sort of gap in the thing, this stench that starts to fill your nostrils, it's like rotted butter almost.
Oh.
And it's thick. You can almost taste it as it sort of spreads.
Gabriel's eyes start to water.
That is such a vivid description.
And
I love it.
slowly, the figure shifts forward and falls, hitting the ground with a semi-wet squelch as most of it flattens against the concrete, sending sprays out, covering your shoes and your pants and further out into the darkness. And then you hear a and you see it at the base of this thing is what looks like a small, yay big box, like a voice box or an audio box.
I'm gonna shake off the flashlight, and I'm gonna go up and just kind of like peer kind of closely at it and just see if like maybe this could still be usable.
So looking down at it, click your flashlight back on, and you kind of peer over the thing. And what sticks out to you almost immediately is the set of 3 wires that run from it into the base seem to be severed. Likely by a squirrel or a rat or another small animal. But there is nothing that this is connected to.
Well, unlike the TV, this thing is not connected, so my understanding is that that shouldn't have worked, right?
Still like wiping his knuckles off and like going into his bag. He is looking for anti-nauseants. Wiping his hand, he like, it's like, I don't know. Things are fucked in here.
Joseph, team offer. And as it winds down, you see sparks at the edge of these frayed wires, fizzling.
Do you think anything hurt it?
And the sound.
I think we should move.
Gotta go.
So inside the tower, you see with the flashlight, there's only the one way in, but there's a set of spiral stairs that go up. You see a number of other wax figures in different states of decay. At least one, you see the midsection of it has been sort of hollowed out and turned into a nest of some sort. Beyond those, the rotted, decayed mascot outfits that were once used here in the park. Except, you notice one is missing. The original Ollie the Owl, from before he got that rework about a year after the park opened and they modernized his design a bit. Faded colors. Instead, There seems to just be an empty mannequin standing in its place.
What the heck?
You think someone stole it, or
Probably worth
Yeah,
something though, right?
yeah. I mean, like that original one probably be worth some money, right? Especially after the park closed.
Yeah, thinking about it a little longer though. Why take only one?
I don't know. Maybe the original or something, a collector's item. I mean, people had to have gotten in here, right?
Go off Rosemary's theory.
I mean, unless someone's running around in the costume.
What, you think that would
Oh,
make them not see
stop.
them?
That's disturbing.
I mean, it's possible. The animatronics still running around.
Yeah, but some deranged lunatic running around in a costume with a bunch of robots?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Okay, look, I've heard some weird stories, but I think that one tops it. I'm gonna give a hold up for a high five. Good one, Rosemary.
High fives, but really, I mean, maybe someone put it on to not stand out from the animatronics. I don't know.
First one have to be a sicko.
We still don't know exactly why this place was closed, so
We could try it.
I mean, I don't know if they would work now. They look pretty terrible.
I'm gonna be
So-
honest, Ollie's not looking so great himself.
I mean, would we even fit into any of these?
Probably the biggest out of the three of us. Do they look like something I could probably squeeze myself in, or at least one or two of them? Because I know definitely not Harriet. But-
Yeah, for for the main cast, you could probably fit in one of those. Yeah, absolutely. They're full sized. It may be a little big, a little unwieldy on you, but if you wanted to.
Yeah, probably not the Blacklight characters, but
No,
Ugh,
but
no.
the core cast.
no, the core crew. I could probably squeeze into one or two of these.
Maybe we keep that in mind, especially if he's just hanging out by the hole in the wall, because that's our only way out.
Our only way out so far.
Yeah, I guess it'll be easier to break out than in.
You don't have to be as cautious going out, especially if we're trying to get away from a big robot.
I mean, it depends on if you want to get caught or not.
I don't think I would be mind getting caught by the cops on the outside if they heard us making a fuss on the inside.
And then you hear a whining sound, like the sound of electricity gearing up a bit. And these lights begin one by one to turn on, rising up, following the staircase, and then each of the spotlights shining down on the individual wax figures and mascot outfits and all of the other accessories that have been placed here, including what seem to be the original puppets, or what's left of the original puppets from the television show itself. And then the final light shines down on a wax figure that seems to be pristine, dirty perhaps a bit, but with no decay. An older man with a bit of a paunch and a scraggly beard and slightly too long, slicked back hair, barring the large, bald spot that takes up the top. And then you hear the, at this point, familiar sound of the audio box starting to spin up, and you hear Bill Doers, head of Doers Family Entertainment, and original brilliant mind between Ollie and Pals. Welcome to the park. Here's the house that you can and it just sort of lingers on that note.
Can I find something heavy to try to smash that voice box?
I'll hand you my hammer.
Absolutely. Roll me a brawn.
I was gonna say, Gabriel's gonna be like, aim for the middle. That's where it goes best. And he's gonna like, kind of like point there. He's using an adversity token, and he has loyal. So,
Excellent. So that's +2, right?
Yep.
Excellent. And what did you roll, Rosemary?
3.
Okay, so
5.
+2, that'll be 5. And with a 5, yeah, it's gonna take you a couple of whacks. This is not a one and done, but you, boom, 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 boom. You bring it down 4, 5, 6 times, and as you do each time, it seems to sort of start over, and it's a little more distorted each time. Until it finally just stops. And then from beyond the door behind you, you hear, oh, hello. I hear you. In that.
Go.
Yep. Gabriel nods and just right after them.
Book it up the stairs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the group of you ascend the stairs. And as you do, you go past broken video screens and more displays of old memorabilia and of recreations of scenes with the puppets from the show, and you see plaques that are from like dedications that were there when the park initially opened that were later removed and put here. And as you ascend to the peak, the lights flicker on ahead of you and sort of fade to a dim light. And there, at the platform at the top, this rounded floor, you see in the center a sort of stone-etched image of Ollie's face. And then surrounding it are symbols. Faded in this deep red. There are 5 of them. And nothing else.
The hell is this?
And then downstairs you hear a thud as the door flies open.
Is that the door to the tower that flies open?
Correct.
How, outside of Ollie, how loud is it right now? It's like,
There is just overall like ambient noise, you mean?
yeah.
It is just the whine of electricity.
Yeah, can we hear him chugging his way up?
You can, yes.
Okay. I am going to quietly reach into my bag. I'm going to find that mug that I had.
Sure.
and I'm just going to toss it into the distance.
Sure. So you hear these uneven sounds. And then I'm going to ask you to roll me a brawn. Let's see how far you can get that mug. You're tossing it down towards him or like out one of the windows?
Oh, ideally towards one of the other buildings.
Okay.
Oh, come on, Braun. Don't fuck me. 12.
Okay. So you huck this mug and it goes flying out. I assume you don't take the time to open the window.
Oh, I would have opened
gonna
the
wanna-
window.
okay,
The
yeah,
idea
that's
was to make it sound like
Just-
somebody else was.
Yeah, not a problem.
I thought that the windows were like
Just
open.
throw the mug right into
Yes,
the window.
just right into the window.
Oh, my eyes.
Yeah, so it's easy, it takes a little bit. It's a struggle to get these windows up, but you can sort of brute force them up eventually. And you just chuck this mug, and you see it go flying out. Towards, you know what? Do me a favor and roll me a d4.
All right. 1.
Great. You chuck this mug out, and as you watch it sort of fly off into the distance, you realize that it is going back towards the merchandise shop. It doesn't make it the whole way, but it falls just a couple of feet from there and shatters. Or rather, actually breaks into chunks, because we have said it was lead, so it's not going to shed. It's not ceramic, but it breaks into large, very, very unhealthy pieces.
The lead paint. I'm just gonna say that it's like not like lead. It's the lead.
Oh, I
paint.
thought you were going the whole
No.
way. Okay, we're just
No.
doing lead paint. That's fine. Look, I've seen it before. It's a thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like we knew better in '94.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
I thought it was 98.
It's 98
Well,
now, but they
94
would
was
have
when
been
it
made
closed.
in
Okay.
94.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just shatters everywhere. Very unhealthy shards. And you hear the noise, the movement of Ollie stop. And then he goes, "Oh, I love hide and seek. Okay, I'm coming." And then he turns.
Oh.
And as he shambles out, you actually get your first really good glimpse of Ollie. You've all seen Ollie before. But what's left of him is not a pleasant sight. Rotted, fallen pieces of matted, what were made to be a simulacrum of feathers, just sort of hang in strips. His once bright orange-yellow beak, now cracked, missing pieces, chipped, covered in dirt. The vast majority of what covered the underside of his jaw now gone, exposing this deep, sharp, jagged bits of metal that have clearly taken some sort of damage in the time since, hangs ever so slightly ajar. And his eyes blaze bright red. Not enough to create a brightening effect around him, but they do cut through the dark. And he shambles out. And as he does, you notice that as he raises one of his wings, as he sort of flaps them almost like he's excited, one of them does not move at the right angle. It just extends outward jerkingly, and you can hear more of metal grinding against metal as it struggles up while the other one flaps and then sort of snaps back down. And after a few moments, he's gone.
Quick and quiet. We have to be quick and quiet.
Yeah.
You can hear
What the heck are
echoes
these symbols?
outside. I'm going to find you. This is fun. This is fun.
You know, I didn't think it could get worse than it did.
Rosemary, have you ever seen any of these things before?
I don't know, have I?
Why don't you roll me your brains and we'll find out?
Just got that one friend who's really
Oh.
the occult.
Oh, that's really good.
If that's a second.
35.
Oh,
Goodness.
what?
Woo!
Was that a natural 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna stick here with my 5s, guys.
You know what? These symbols match almost exactly symbols that you've seen in a book that you managed to check out of the library. In fact, it was kind of hidden off in a corner, tucked away. No one really wanted to talk about it, but there's that one librarian who's like definitely a little different from all the other librarians. And any mention of anything strange or weird, they won't stop talking about it and will show you where all the weird books are hidden that they tucked away in the uninteresting section so they didn't get taken out of the library. And one of those books was a book about the occult. And these symbols perfectly match up symbols that you've seen in the book. You may not know exactly what their use is, but these are symbols that are definitely used in rituals of some kind.
Someone's doing like rituals, like witchy cultish stuff.
That's whack.
Okay, but Rosemary, like you could like undo that, right? I mean, that's like your whole vibe.
I don't even know what, like, I've seen these before, but I don't know what they're supposed to be like doing.
Okay, hang on. Let me just think here. Okay, so first of all, witchcraft is actually real.
Just
Or at the very
points.
least,
Dude, my parents are
At the
gonna be
very
so
least-
pissed.
whoever put them here thinks that. So I mean, something's up. Someone put these here.
Lion, has Ollie's eyes always been red? Have they always been like that? I thought they were very God.
Yes, they have always been red.
Okay. So this it wouldn't be like too weird to be like, oh, it's faded and stuff. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's just operate on the assumption that these things are real, right? So if we just get rid of those, then whatever's happening should end, right?
Or make it worse, right? Like that's the other way that this goes is
Because the way this like stuff like this works is, it can be like summoning, or it can be like binding. So like, what if it's like keeping something here? I don't want to
Okay.
mess with that if it's like
Okay,
keeping
but
something
if
here.
but if we mess with it, then it would go away. It wouldn't be kept here anymore, right?
yeah, but that might
Do you want things like that loose in the town?
who's to say Ollie there didn't punch out the fence and then go, I'm not allowed to leave. I don't think the cops can stop a robot owl.
What are you talking about? They have guns.
Mm.
Like way too many guns. I think we can all agree on that, right? Especially for this small of a town.
Also, like, I'd like to think if you hit him with a car, that's probably going to like.
Yeah, but it never
But still.
starts at a car, and plus it's a robot. I don't know. The thing's
Come on, it's like
mangled.
Terminator. You hit it with a car, it's fine.
How'd that turn out?
Are we talking Terminator or Terminator 2? Because I shouldn't be watching either one of those.
How did it turn out in both of them when they got hit by cars?
Let me try to remember. I think in the first one it was less okay. The second one was more okay.
Okay.
Well, hey, even if we do like mess this up, what if there's other ones in the park? We haven't checked out this entire park. We've only been like 2 places.
Yeah, well, we still haven't even found what like caused those lights here in the first place. Do you think it was this? How fresh these symbols look?
Not very. They are dried and faded. But I will tell you that having probably been dragged through here at least once when y'all were kids, because every parent needs a little bit of a break, and this is just the right amount of boring. They definitely weren't there when the park was open, at least not the last time any of you were here.
Lion, there's something I'd like to try and do, which might be a little bit weird, but I think Gabriel would do this.
I like this.
He's gonna get down over top one of them on his hands and knees, and in his backpack he has a pair of gloves, which he should have been wearing this entire time, but he's gonna put on the gloves, and he's going to first just come down and just kind of like sniff at the symbols, if it's like coppery or irony or if it's paint.
So first, I'm really glad it went this direction, because for half a second I'm like, oh, please don't lick these things. Please don't.
No.
I was
It's not a
very
nose.
worried.
Okay, it's
We
not
were
a nose.
just talking about like licking
Not licking
rocks
things.
for geology at work, and I was like, oh, fuck.
That is excellent. I love it. Okay.
No, I figured that like at one point Gabriel's dad fell, and then like he didn't realize it at first, and he thought maybe it was like is this stain something I take out with this or this? And so he like bent down and like would try and like sniff it.
So I'm going to have you make a brains check here, because you do have to cut through the still overwhelming smell of rancid butter and raw.
Oh, that's still downstairs. Okay. That's another 4.
Okay. You are going to gain an adversity token.
Pardon?
You said 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to get an adversity token. And you lean down and you sniff at it, but all you can smell is just that thick, heavy, rotten stench.
Yeah, he just chokes it down for a second. And the next thing he's going to do is like actually like use the glove just to like rub it and see if it comes off the same way.
So
Or if
just to
stuck.
clarify, are you like rubbing a finger, or are you trying to like scratch at it?
Just rubbing his finger across it, because if it's paint, it shouldn't do anything.
Okay. So you rub
Though
your
I doubt Old Blood would move much either, so.
So you rub your finger across it, and the only thing that seems to come up is a healthy dose of dirt and grime.
Well, whatever it is, we're not getting it up very easily. It's gonna take a peek out and see if like Ollie is still kind of wandering the grounds.
Ollie is in fact still wandering the grounds. He doesn't seem to be very far off either. He's not near the doorway. He's on the other side of the tower, closer to the Ferris wheel. But he's still just hobbling along, trying to find his new friends. And I think that's exactly where we're going to leave off for tonight. With these strange symbols, some kind of occult doings, and Ollie wandering around hoping for hugs. Thank you so much for being here, both to my amazing cast and to chat for keeping things going so fantastically. We deeply appreciate all of you. I'm going to take a moment and we're going to have everyone remind you who they are, where you can find them, and all the cool stuff that they're up to. So we're going to switch things up. Wraith, why don't we start with you?
That's me. Hi, I'm Wraith. You can find me at Sundernoia on Twitter, Blue Sky, all that good stuff. I'm mainly over on Exquisite Corpse Presents, where I am Director of Operations and also a cast member. We are having a Halloween charity event right now alongside all of our other regular stuff. So if you want to see a bunch of really cool storytellers telling scary stories and maybe hop in, support them for charity, you should come do that because it's I think we have like 18 more games. There's a lot of games.
Wow.
There's a lot of games, and they're almost all different systems. So it's very, very cool. So you should come support all of them and help us support Take This Org, which is a organization that is benefiting mental health specifically around gaming. So
Love that. Definitely do that. So many games, no excuse not to check out at least some of them. And if I may say so myself, y'all do fantastic work. So go check it out.
only one game has had people die in it so far. So
We'll see how that keeps up.
The month is young.
Yeah, it's still early.
It's only the 11th, right?
18 more games.
exactly.
Zach.
Hey everybody, my name is Zach Walsh. I run a podcast called Schedule for Launch that you can watch, listen to everywhere, including YouTube. I always forget to plug the YouTube. You can find me under the name Schedule for Launch on Blue Sky and Twitter. On Twitter, that is with the number 4. On Blue Sky, it's not, because you can have more character limits on Blue Sky, and I appreciate that. Other than that, though, I'm going to be here. Tomorrow night, I will be streaming under Astroceratops, which is my Twitch stuff. More Baldur's Gate 3 Behind These Eyes with a whole cast and crew of amazing people. And then eventually, getting back, I think it's going to be a couple weeks, but we're going to be going back to Veil the Void on their Twitch stream where I play Yurgeth, a large Oni monstrosity who has a pet corgi that is one of our players.
Absolutely.
That's everything for me, though. Oh, you can find my podcast Schedule for Launch on all the podcast stuff. Yeah, that's an important one.
It's a good podcast.
It's a great podcast.
There's so many good projects on there.
Yes. A lot of really. I've gotten lucky.
if you're looking for insight into fantastic games and just great talks with amazing people, and Zach, who's also amazing, go do that. Go do that now. Maybe not now. It's late.
Yeah,
do that soon.
Wait like 5 minutes, please.
Okay, yes. Wait like 5 minutes, and then go do it. And Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm That Gamer Ajax on all the social medias. I would highly recommend checking out my YouTube channel where I do guides, tips and tricks, story videos, and I just want to help you be the best tabletop enthusiast that you can be, whether that is a big or a small game. I have been really starting to try to branch out and cover a little bit more. I've been a little irregular on content, but working on trying to get back to regular posting. So next video that's going to be coming out is covering Lancer, a fantastic mech game that if you haven't played it, you really should. It's great.
That and Icon.
Fantastic. And because I got yelled at for not doing this at the start of the game by people who thankfully are not here right now, I'm Lion. I am the creative director and founder of Tales from the Table Studios. You can find me here most of the time, either on screen or off screen doing production and running chat. So either way, pop in, say hi, I'll be around. You can find me at the Lion Knight 42 on Twitter and also at TFTT Studios because our name is too long for Twitter, and at TFTT Studios on Blue Sky because our name is too long for Blue Sky. But you can find us at Tales from the Table Studios over on YouTube because that fits. It's a thing. It's fine.
Hey, names.
You'll be able to find me on Friday over with Exquisite Corpse Presents next, which I'm really excited for Kel's Kitchen, which is a wonderful game which blends TTRPGs, which is one of my favorite things, with cooking competitions, which is one of my other favorite things. So it's really exciting. It's been great. All of the characters are phenomenal. Definitely come check it out. That's on Friday. And then next week, you will be able to catch me here again doing this with these amazing people, which is so exciting. And by next week, we also are, I'm pretty sure, going to have a really exciting announcement following the episode of One Night at Ollie's. So stick around to the end so you can find out about that. We've got some really exciting projects in the works, and we are so...
It just clicked. It just clicked.
And we are so close to being able to talk about those. So stick around, because there is so much more coming. We're coming back swinging. So with that, in a moment, we are going to go raid live from the Apocalypse, who are running Cryptid Community College, which is a Monster of the Week game, and is phenomenal. Definitely worth sticking around for. Yes, we love us some live from the Apocalypse. So until next time, remember to take care of yourself, love yourself, eat enough food, drink enough water, do the things you got to do, and always tell your tales. Love you so much. See you next time.